Hi, I'm Beth from Restyled Pieces Boutique. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be replacing the velvet inside of a jewelry box. I did a makeover on this a while back, and oh my gosh, it was so much work and so much details, but it was so worth it. I'm so excited how it turned out. So if you want to know all those little details and how to do it yourself, just watch. So I'm just going to get right started. So as you can see, this middle piece is bent and it's not looking very well. It's got some imperfections and stains and worn off places. So at first I was thinking I would just clean it up real well and it would be fine, but I knew better. I knew I wasn't going to be happy with it. So just to get this makeover started, I took the hardware off. I made sure I cleaned it well, took the hardware off. And I painted it with hybrid beige. I'm just showing you parts of this makeover. I do have a full video. I'll put that up in the top part of the screen, a full makeover of this whole jewelry box. But right now I just want to focus on the velvet interior. Here I took my painter's tool and I just gently put that in the edges of the felt. Not felt, it's velvet. Put that in the edges of the velvet and I just pried it off a little at a time, going slowly, making sure I didn't mess up my paint job that I just finished. I thought I might keep these foam places where you put your rings, but I wasn't sure yet. So each of those rectangles that I took out on the edges and on the long sides and the middle piece, I'm going to save because these will be my template to use to make the new materials. Almost coming out. I am so glad it wasn't harder to remove than this, and I was able to save all those little cardboard pieces for my templates and the insides of the foam ring holders, and we'll see what we do next. So if I was going to be using these foam pieces again, I needed to remove the old felt. It was just stick-on felt. It had adhesive on it, so it was pretty easy to just peel those off of the sponge pieces. All of these rectangles are just put on cardboard, but the middle piece is a piece of wood. And we're gonna see if that's good enough to keep. So the perfect way to make these templates is to get a cereal box. I found that that's just the perfect weight. It's not too heavy, it's not too thick, but it's enough rigidness to put the velvet on there and keep it together. So here I'm just marking the bottom piece of the jewelry box and I'm cutting this out so it'll be nice and straight. There was a few parts of experimenting with this project. I wanted to make my felt bigger because you want to flip the top of the felt over just a little bit so that when you put it in your jewelry box, you won't see the edge of the cardboard when you put it in. So you want it to just overlap on the top, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I took off the adhesive backing that's on the velvet, and then I'm going to stick this to my cardboard. And next, I just wanted to check the other side. Oh my goodness, look, you can see the cereal box printing through there. So I had to pull it off and I had to switch it to the other side, the blank side of the cardboard. Good thinking. I used some double-sided tape to make sure that that felt was extra sticking to the cardboard when I folded the little pieces over. I didn't really need to do that. I didn't use it after a while. That felt had enough adhesive on it. It was just fine. So if you don't use the double-sided tape, it will totally be fine. And here I'm just trimming off the corners so that I don't have overlapped pieces when I fold over all four sides. So I just make a little square there in the corner and I cut that off. Same way with all the other three corners. All finished and ready to pop in the bottom of my jewelry box liner. So here we go. And I'm fitting that perfect. So happy. It's already looking 100% better than what was there before. Now I'm moving on to the sides of the box, and I'm going to line those up on the bottom because I'm not going to see the bottom edge of those sides. I'm only going to see the top edge. So all I have to overlap and bring over the velvet is on the top. Oh, and I did put some overlap on the sides as well. I just thought, why not be safe? So this one was sticking up a little bit too high above the edge of the box on the left side, I believe. So I just trimmed the bottom of the piece, not the top, because the top is the part that's overlapped. So I just trimmed the bottom of the piece a couple times and then it fit well. Now I am dry fitting this piece. I've already put my bottom in permanently, but I'm going to put all the pieces in and not glue them in until I make sure everything fits and everything's exactly where it needs to be. So this is not glued in. I just have that sitting there, and I do that for the whole rest of the piece and then I glue. I decided I didn't want to use those foam pieces that were in there. They were older, they were kind of mushy and flat. And so I got this idea from a video I watched from Veronique Sky. I'll put that link down below about how to use these hair curlers to put the ring holders in. So I'm going to have to cut them as far as length, but first I need to take out the wires. So just check out how to do that. You just pull it out a little bit, slide that little plastic piece off, put the wire back inside the curler, and then pull it out the other side. So now I have what looks like Minnie Mouse's pool noodle. So I'm just going to measure those along the side of the old foam and see how long they are so I can cut those all. I need 7 of them, and I need to cut them all to the same length. A lot of trial and error, seeing as how this is my first time I've done this. And I started with scissors, and then I went to just a regular bread knife. And oh my goodness, I wish I would have thought before to use my electric cutting knife, like that you use to carve a turkey. That works so well if you're doing upholstery and you're using foam, or it would have worked so well on these, I believe. I kept having to trim a little bit. You want to make sure all those 7 of those curlers are the same exact size, because I'm going to put that little wood divider piece right next to them, and I need them the same size. After I got all those cut, I was just measuring my velvet to wrap around each of the little pool noodles, or curlers, or ring holders. Now here you want to make sure that that velvet is even with the ends. If it's a little tiny too big, that's probably okay, just a hairline too big. But if it's too small, your purple is going to show and you'll have a problem. Now I have all 7 of those finished. I'm just going to dry fit those in there and make sure that they're pretty much exactly the same length. So I want them to go all the way across and be the same length. It takes a little finagling to kind of mush around on them and get them in the right place. I got them in the right place, and now I'm just gluing in with quick and thick Titebond. putting my glue in and gluing in all my sides and making this permanent. And this was not nerve-wracking at all, worrying about if your glue was going to squeeze out and get all over that beautiful velvet that you just completed. But you just got to put it about halfway down in that area so that it doesn't squeeze up, and just make a little thin line and push it down so that it doesn't squeeze up and ruin your velvet. A little stressed, yes, but this was the part that I was getting very excited because I was getting so close to seeing this finished and it was looking beautiful. So time to glue in that last end and then put Mickey Mouse's pool noodles in. As you're gluing those in, you just want to make sure that your seams, where you see the seam where the velvet was completed, that it goes on the bottom. Had to do a little squishing to get that last one in, and I just straightened up the velvet on it, and it's ready for the divider. So I set the divider in there, and then I'm getting ready to glue it. This is just a dry fit, so now I'm going to glue. So I'm moving this divider out a little bit, and I'm going to be putting the glue onto the ends of the rollers and on the inside of the piece of wood. Then I clamped it, and I barely tightened those clamps at all. If I did too much, then the velvet would get wrinkled and it was messed up. So just a little bit. So this is what it looked like before. It was squishy. The wood was not in the right place. We had some stains and some dirt and things that were just not going to go away. And now what it looks like after. So thrilled, and I can't believe I did this. You can do it too. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. I would really appreciate it if you would like my video, subscribe, and hit that bell button, and you'll get notified when I have new videos that come out. So join me next time, and I will see you later.